Hey, what's happening?
Say what's up? How you doing, folks? The live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast is brought to you by some key sponsors. As I get started late today, oh boy, let me with this sponsor read. I've got an email that I need to share with you about A&E Heating and Cooling. Rob writes, Eric, I just had one of your sponsors, A&E Heating and Cooling, out to my house, and I have to tell you all about it. Joe Martinez sent his guys out to do a routine tune-up on my furnace and air conditioner yesterday. And in the course of that, we identified an issue with the furnace motor that had been making noise last winter. It got a little complicated, and within minutes, Joe himself even stopped by to troubleshoot it. In the end, they figured it out and got it all taken care of. Joe and his guys were on time, fast, professional, and fair on the price. I would recommend them to anyone. Eric, I don't know how, with your terrible language and sometimes kooky opinions, that you are able to keep such great sponsors on your show. But I'm so glad you do it. I'm very happy. I found a trustworthy company to call if I ever need help with my HVAC in the future. Signed, Rob in Kentwood. Well, doesn't get much better than that. That is all fantastic news. I'm very appreciative of you passing along the information. Thank you for calling on Joe. Thank you for the complisalt. So thank you. Patriot Nick says apparently he hasn't heard forbidden Spanish yet. Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Tu madre es una puta.
Talk about terrible language. He just said your mother's a whore. Holy cow. All right. Thank you to Joe Martinez. If you need more info, 616-516-8579. Terrytown RV is on Division. You know what? Let me jump on with TC Paintball because Rick is squeaky wheel here. He's like, can you please put me at the top? All right, Rick likes it on top. The necessary changes so I don't lose track. TC Paintball. I want you to reach out to them about getting a party together. In fact, they got the Little League tonight, the Youth League over at TC Paintball. So that means like it's the lower impact guns and kids don't feel any sting. If you got a kid who is thinking about exploring the paintball thing, this is what you do. You call upon TC Paintball and they can get you set up so it isn't like they're getting blasted. You know, I mean, sometimes that can sting a little if you're a little fella. Hey, it stings for me and I'm a big fella. They're outdoors. So you got the airball playing field. You have the what is it called again? I always lose track of all the terms of it. You got airball and then tactical. Tactical is like it's almost like you're clearing room to room in a city. It's like you're walking through around corners with all these pallets stacked up, and it is just so much fun. TC Paintball online at tcpaintballgr.com. We have a party coming up at TC Paintball on the 19th of August. That's a Wednesday, a second and third shifter party, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thank you. A&D Cleaning wants to clean the house. This is the last one, I swear. 616-550-3644. It's a great gift. Hire my friends at A&D Cleaning to clean the house, okay? In West Michigan, reach out to Amy Porter for an estimate at A&D Cleaning. Turnkey, fully insured. They just walk in, everything's clean before you know it. You don't have to leave out the vacuum cleaner and the frickin' Lysol wipes. They have everything that they need. 616-550-3644. This is the 7th of August. We are marching through the summer on this miserable shitstorm year, but we're embracing the suck.
Hey, what's happening?
Here we go. The Eric Zane Show podcast is now.
The clip of the day.
Need a titty in my mouth. Need a titty in my mouth.
And now, here's a guy who has never won a congeniality award at any radio station anywhere. I will fight you in the street.
Need a kitty
It's
in
the
the
Eric
mouth.
Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily rant-filled, expletive-laced podcast, Monday through Friday, covering news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. And boy, it's been a lot of personal adventures, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue on, trying to shrug off life as it happens to us on this show. I've been doing it now, I think this is 401, 402 episodes of the free podcast. I stream it live on Facebook. Facebook, sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Got a couple of puppy dogs here that are sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair and Grand Rapids Hybrid. O'Neill just got down. He's like, up, he's down, he's up, he's down. Bruce here, brought to you by Grand Rapids Hybrid. So yeah, you know, this is how it works. If you're following the live stream on Twitter, thank you. At Eric Zane Show is the Blue Frost IT Twitter handle. And YouTube. All right, thank you very much for following on YouTube. In fact, I like to throw up the caption here that says, do just that. Follow the show on YouTube. Just search Eric Zane Show. If you could, hey, even if you like watching on Facebook, not YouTube, go ahead and put YouTube on, but just mute the sound, okay? Because there's a little monetization going on at YouTube. So thank you very much for being part of the show and checking it out in whatever live way you do. As I mentioned, it is live every day, and then the recorded podcast found wherever you download podcasts. So that audio is all on demand for you. Ton of stuff to get to today. Been a really, really, really crazy, it's just like I have to really compartmentalize all of the things that have been happening and still be able to do the show. I'm not going to lie. It's tough. It's been really, really tough lately. And you'll figure out why coming up here. It's just been the stressors that have been just piling up and dealing is getting a little old. And I think we're all in the same boat. So, you know, we're kind of like in this together. But on the show today, boy, I didn't see this coming. I did not see a war of words between football coaches captivating my attention. But this one has. And it's about damn time. Now, I don't even know if they're going to play college football this year. Seems like every day there's something new. But if there is a war of words between Ohio State and Michigan, I'm really interested in that. And we have that. We have that, and I'm very, very happy about it. Tomato Larry Bird. You will be introduced to Tomato Larry Bird. I'll explain what Tomato Larry Bird is all about. The Ukraine cold cock. What is that? Well, somebody got punched right in the face. And again, this is something you have to see. There is audio to it, but it's a little weird. I'll get into that. The name Jerry Falwell Jr. ring a bell? Liberty University. This is evangelicals. You remember the name Jerry Falwell, perhaps. This is his kid. It's a little nutty, something a little awkward and weird. So much so that some of these far-right leading political heads are saying, hey, man, he's one of ours, but he's got to step down. He can't be doing this. He's a friggin' heathen. We get to that nonsense. Misguided anti-masker rage at a waitress. This one, I just don't get it. I just don't understand. It's that whole shoot the messenger thing. You know, all these businesses, they don't want to do this. They don't want to be part of it, but they're kind of just following the rules. In my opinion, if you're an anti-masker, you go out of your way to help the businesses that are following the rules because they're just like you. They don't want this shit either. And so I just don't understand this really misplaced rage. I've got some great sports announcer audio. Just some awkward shit to discuss with you. My God, is this great. And All right, so there you go. With regarding the Ukraine cold cock, it is this guy might think again before he protests. So there's that. But first, yesterday was kind of nutty. Funeral for Diana's brother, and took the day off. I worked ahead earlier in the week to get that done. So there you go. I hope that was okay. Hope you enjoyed the best of. But so yesterday was everybody here at my house. Diana's already in Detroit with Kevin and putting the final touches on this on the funeral. And first of all, thanks again. We got a terrific, really nice flower arrangement at the funeral home from the Zaniacs of Tennessee, and that was just, I mean, my God. I walked into the room where David's body was. With Diana, we were we got to the place at the same time, and we walked in, and then there's David's body and the flowers, and so I mean, this just was a sucker punch right to the gut, especially for Diana. It was terrible, but she lit up when she saw the arrangement. Thank you very much. It was very, very kind. I really don't even know where to begin on this thing. It was this outside of the initial shock, which was when I was seated right here in this room just over a week ago. This was a real. I think in the processing of it, Diana is getting, to like another level here. And I don't know what to do other than just take care of her. And I think that's all I can do. And that's all you're doing. And I appreciate that. Oh man, that poor thing. I'm sure she wants to talk to you all. See if I can get her in here. I'll know if she checks in. I don't want to just sit here and let it ring. But it is a hard setup there at the funeral home to put off or to make a funeral go with COVID-19. It was, hey, good morning. How are you?
Hi, honey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you look so pretty first thing in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
Who's that?
Nice.
Is that Dodger I hear?
That's Dodger.
What's he doing?
He thinks he's king of the neighborhood.
Yeah. How about that underbite? Don't tell him. Oh.
See how tough he is?
Yeah, I love the name Dodger.
Dodger.
Oh, Dodger. Hello, baby. Oh, yes.
Dodger.
Oh, look at him. He's just perfect. Hang on. I got to get a screenshot so I can show the audience.
Come here, Dodger.
Okay, hold on. One more. I got to get his underbite. Dodger, look at me. Hello, Dodger. Oh, okay. Perfect. All right. I'll post that.
That's Dodger.
Yeah. Hold on. I got to save that.
You think he's very handsome.
I know it. So, boy, that house is decorated really nice, that place.
I know. Mimi likes to decorate. A lot of it's Hannah's artwork.
Did she do the farm thing behind you?
No. No, she didn't. I don't think. Oh, I think Mimi bought that one.
All right. So what's going on? You're up and around?
Yeah, I just got up, just having a cup of coffee, and I'm planning on leaving like around 10. Mimi said she wanted me out of here, so.
Oh yeah, right. So I was.
What?
I was just discussing with everyone how you saw the flower arrangement from the folks from Tennessee. How sweet that was.
That was awesome. That was very, very nice and very, very thoughtful.
Hey, listening to your words that you wrote when you spoke, because you spoke first in eulogizing your brother. Boy, you really hit it out of the park. I felt bad for all the people that had to follow you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it was really great. You write well, and you present even better.
Well, you did too. You did a good job reading Griggs's.
Thank you. All right. Well, everybody's thinking about you. I can't wait for you to come home. Sleeping alone in that bed is just a pain. Is just really terrible. I hate it. I hate it so much. What's so funny? Are you making fun of me?
Mimi's thinking you're silly.
Oh, hi, Mimi. I love you so.
Hello, Eric.
Oh my God, come see me.
She's going to.
Okay.
She's bringing Davy to us.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, the urn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love you.
Okay, I love you too. I'll see you a little later.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
there you go.
Bye.
Queen of the Forest. Yeah, she's bringing the urn. So I don't even know what the hell the plan is with that, but all right. So it all goes down. You got people coming in and out from David's life, paying their respects. And then we had that ceremony, and people spoke, and it was as far as these things go, it was pretty much normal. I just can't believe it. It's just been a hell of a time, and I'm just glad that you're all there. Thank you very much for all that you've done. So now we just make our way like we all will at some point when something terrible happens. My thoughts and prayers are with all of you. If you have suffered any of this, it's sudden loss is a rough one. And I think what it is these moments, we don't really think about this. I mean, you drive yourself insane if you're constantly thinking about when the big one is going to happen. But it's something we're all going to face at some point in time. I'm just thankful to God that we don't sit there and dwell on it. Most of us, some people do. I feel bad for those who have anxiety. You know what? It was the first though. I was here. I dropped off the dogs at Lisa's at Doggone Spoiled. Thank you, Lisa. You're awesome. 4 dogs. I had to drop off 4 dogs. One of them convalescing. Then my son Jim shows up at the house, and this was Eric. My son, Jim, riding shotgun, Jacqueline, and Madison. And Jacqueline brought her boyfriend, Justin, handsome Justin. But that was the first time in probably, let's see, Jim's 25 right now. I'm guessing nearly 10 years. That is the first time that it has been Eric, Jim, Jackie, and Madison with no mom. I mean, I'm guessing that Diana, Eric, and the 3 kids have been together, but not that it matters. But I was like, this is so strange to have all of us together like that, especially Jim doing his own. I mean, he's growing up. I mean, he's 25 years old, got his own family, for God's sake. But we kind of we traveled as a pack in the same car. And man, I just loved the dynamic. My son is funny as hell. Jesus, is he funny. I think he missed his calling. He needs to be doing something like this. I'm like, Jim, you're a riot. God, are you funny? We just had a great time. As good of a time as you can have during a funeral, right? But sometimes when you get together, man, just fun shit happens. Even if it is around a funeral, just some great conversations took place. So I'm grateful for the time. But the chaos doesn't end here. Now, no one's died. That's not that type of chaos. But I finish up the show today, and then I pack, and then I have to fly to the one of the corona hotspots in the United States, Los Angeles. And I'll be doing shows from there. Where did that folder go? All next week. I'll save it for the Patreon. I've got a list of things that I have to do next week in Los Angeles that I'll share with you on the Patreon. It's going to be like, what the hell are you doing there? This is all surrounding the donation of the kidney. And I've noticed this. For people that know about it in my family, they don't want to talk about it. I think, honestly, a lot of them are crossing their fingers that it'll fall through or that I'll lose the zest to want to do this and just quit it. And then there's that aspect of it. And then there's the other aspect of like, wow, really? Oh, my God. Just people are shocked by it. And to me, I've wrapped my mind around it for so long, it's not really that big of a deal. And I try not to dwell on it because, truth be told, if I do think about it too much, I do start to get a little freaked out. I don't want to go and watch a how-to video of how they do this. I just want it done, and then I want to convalesce for 4 to 6 weeks and then start running again. That's all I want to do. And my kidney is not leaving my body this next week. It's yet another one of these 1 million hurdles that you have to jump over in order to be able to do it. I don't know where this came from. It kind of just hit me like a bolt from the blue, tapped on the shoulder by God is how I like to describe it. I was like, hey, you got to go help this guy. And I'm like, oh, okay, Lord, I will do thee. I can't even talk in biblical terms. I will do thee thou. But it seemed like a good idea at the time, and I still feel very good about it. And I'm extremely excited about it. And people are like, and that's weird for me because, sometimes I might go down a road and like lose my passion for something, but not this. This has been seriously, I've just been like on fire with wanting to get this done. And truth be told, when it comes to the organization that I'm teamed up with, they almost, not quite, but I almost get the impression that they try to do everything they can to talk you out of it because they very plainly speak about this is what's going on. This is what you have to be. It's almost like they're giving you the worst case scenario to see how you respond. And if you can remain like solvent in your decision about, I still want to do this, then they're like, we got the right guy. So maybe there is method to that madness. Okay, I fly out of here like between 5 and 6 Eastern time on Saturday. Get to California just before 10 p.m. Saturday night. Time change, 3-hour time change. Truth be told, I don't know how the hell the show's going to go off. I wish I had the schedule in front of me. I was going to bring it in here, but I misplaced it. But the show next week might be at weirdo times. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be up for getting up at like 5 a.m. or starting the show at 5 a.m. California time. So next week might be a complete bit of nuttiness when it comes to when the show happens. I'll inform you via social media. So if you're not following me on, and I'll even make an announcement on the podcast app. If you're not following me on social media, do it and pay attention to it because the show times might start at some nutty times. So, and then you know what? I don't even think there's anything going on Monday. Sunday, I'm going to visit my cousin. And then Monday, I think, actually is an open day, unless they've scheduled something for me, and I don't know. But, I mean, all the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have something going on. Stress test, chest exams or chest x-ray, thorough physical, very involved. They said it's the most thorough physical you will have. They go over you with a fine-tooth comb. And, there was actually, with the gentleman that I'm working with trying to give my kidney to him, he has had numerous heartbreaks leading up to this. And one person in particular got to like this point, and the exam revealed that he has a health issue. So much so that he was scrubbed he couldn't be used, but he had cancer spots on his kidneys. That's what the exam revealed. And it saved his life because it was a very small early progression of cancer, but they took care of it. But the side effect of that is it was crushing for my potential recipient because back to the drawing board. So that can happen. So fingers crossed that there is no issue, and then we will then have completed the week, navigated that, and then on to the next step. Fingers crossed because I know that a lot of you are really pulling for this person who I've never really named. I think I let it slip one time who it was. You don't know him, but I'm keeping this extremely private. And then when the time is right, this person says that he'd actually want to speak with all of you in a podcast form one day. So I know you're all thinking about this individual, and let me just tell you, it is very, very difficult. His life has been very, very difficult for quite some time because of his failed kidneys. He's on stage 5 kidney disease, regular interval. He has to go through dialysis, and he's way too young to be experiencing this. So the goal is we get one of my kidneys in him, and then he can continue on, and he can have a great, productive, pain and discomfort-free rest of his life. So this week is huge, okay? Just be thinking about that. I cannot wait to be doing the show from a hotel room. Now, I've done this before. I've packed up all my stuff and gone on the road. I've never flown, but I'm going to have it all in a backpack. I'm not going to have the baggage handlers take it, but I'm going to take a stripped-down version of all of this to be able to do the show, and I'll be doing it from the hotel room. So I'm actually kind of intrigued as to how this is going to go. Fingers crossed that there's no technical issues. I'll be staying on the campus of UCLA, so I can just it's almost like a version of the Ronald McDonald House that I'll be staying at. Okay, and it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. I'll be able to walk to my appointments. I'm looking forward Sunday to seeing my cousin Mary, who is one of the Armenians, and she lives in that community known as Glendale, California, and it's a massive it's the biggest Armenian community in the United States. Don't know why they all went to Glendale, but, 1/4 of the population is Armenian. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so that's all that's going on. Flying, they put me in business class. So I'm like with the rich people flying out there on Delta. I've got an N95 mask that I was given to get there as safely as possible. I have no one on either side of me. I just get into the plane. I just sit down like this, watch Ozark, try to catch up on that show. Don't talk to anybody. Head down, fly there. Or actually fly to Detroit, get on another plane, fly to Los Angeles, jump in an Uber, take it to where I need to go, and then get in my room and go to bed. That's it. Don't talk to anybody. Stay away, because there's a lot of active cases there. And me, if I caught this, it kind of puts a little bit of a slowdown in our plan. So we just can't have that. Okay, so that's the next big thing. I am concerned, Diana being, us being separate. Basically, I'll see her today, and then, for 24 hours we're together, and then I have to leave for a week. The timing of this couldn't be worse, but I made doubly sure. I go, are you sure I can go? Do you not want me to go? Please tell me. It's not a big deal. We can reschedule it. No, go. You need to go. You need to get this done. So she's just such a trooper. Thank God she has her brother. Jacqueline and Justin are going to be staying here. We'll be close. If you could all just be thinking of her, reach out to her. I know a lot of you reach out to her all the damn time. Hell, Kevin in Muskegon.
Hey, what's happening?
He sends her messages.
So
what do you think? He's like sending her messages. He's offering her pointers on podcasting.
Hey, what's happening?
The clip of the day.
I love Kevin. Kevin, ZaniX Global is what he's doing. He has the Eric Zane Show podcast clip of the day. Hey, offer some patience with Kevin. He's new to the content game. So, I told you we're working on his flow. We're working on getting him to speak. And when you're new to the biz, you can't just expect to go in there and be like some wordsmith. All right, so Kevin, ZaniX Global is what he does. Every day he does the Eric Zane Show podcast clip of the day. Thank you, Kevin. That's very sweet. Okay, so that's what's up. That is the open of the Eric Zane Show podcast, and a lot of show to take care of today. And the only way we are able to do this free daily podcast is because of the army of sponsors. Thank you for engaging them. When you do engage them, please mention my name. All right? They're all very, very important. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Irvines.com is their website. You can call them at 616-532-6600. How they do it is just fantastic. You don't have to touch anything. It's all hands-free. You basically drop your vehicle off. Say, hey, there's something wrong with this, check it out. They send you an email saying, here's what's up. You can either talk to them on the phone or just communicate via the email. You just approve. All right, I'll take the oil change. I'll take the wheel alignment and the water pump replacement. Okay, boom, done. It's repaired. You pay over the phone. You show up. Your keys are right there. Thanks. See ya. Car is sanitized. Good to go. They're along 44th Street, just east of 131, about 2 or 3 blocks east of 131 on a street called Stafford. Irvines.com is their website. Please bang on their door, as I encourage you to do that with all of these great sponsors. Baldwin Ace Hardware, bringing you all the appearances by the Queen of the Forest. Thank you to Baldwin Ace Hardware for doing that. They are the mom-and-pop Ace Hardware arrangement up north, the kings and queens of DIY awesomeness in the Northland of Michigan. They're on the edge of the Manistee National Forest. Go see my friends at Baldwin Ace Hardware and spend some dough. Would you please drop a C note when you walk in the door on all the good stuff that they have for sale there? You need a new lock set. I don't know, get a key made. I need a can of Zinsser's primer, brushes, a new grill, conduit, wiring, tools. They have it all at Baldwin Ace Hardware. Thank you. JM Synthetics just finished up an amazing quarter of advertising, and they're signing up for another quarter. Now, look, if you change your own oil and you use lubricants on your vehicles or your ATV or your heavy-duty tractor, whatever it is, do not buy them from like the local farm and fleet or the auto parts store, okay? You need to buy the best. You want the best products in your equipment. That's AMSOIL. They invented synthetic motor oil, and when you call upon my friends at JM Synthetics, you're really helping them in their business. JMSynthetics.com. Since they do their business online, anybody in the United States can call upon them. You don't have to buy it in person at a brick-and-mortar place. It's all done online. So no matter where you are, call upon JM Synthetics for your oil. JMSynthetics.com. They also bring you Deer Meathead. All right. Yes. Let's, what do I want to get into? I've got a bunch of audio that I want to play for you. I've got sports audio hilarity, tomato Larry Bird. I have to describe that. The awkward scenario at the baseball game. That's what we'll get into. So what I have here is something that I think you really need to see. And me explaining it, I oftentimes try to paint the picture as best I can. But sometimes you absolutely have to see, okay? And when I saw this come across my desk, I was like, well, this is just what is going on here. Somebody in the world, I'm guessing somewhere in the United States, picked a tomato. Now, what in the world does a tomato have to do with NBA legend Larry Bird? You know how, like, on a tomato, you'll see like maybe a ridge or like a dimple on a tomato, or it grows a little derped. It might look like there's even like like an appendage hanging off of the tomato. This red tomato has 2 dimples for eyes. It has a nose, and it has like a mouth with a downward draw to it. Like one corner of it goes down, and it looks like a half frown emoji. Some brilliant mind saw the tomato and said, fuck, this tomato looks like Larry Bird. Boston Celtics legend. I mean, amazing basketball player. Then they went and they got a side-by-side picture of Larry Bird, a relatively recent picture of Bird. And my God, does this tomato look like Larry Bird? It's stupid. He looks so much like him. Now, on the show comments, I will, on the podcast notes, I'll link it up for you to look at, or it'll be in the news of ericzaneshow.com. It's not there right now. Don't even try to look at it right now. I want you to pay attention, because now the world doesn't really know about it at this point. I had seen it, the comparison between real Larry Bird and tomato Larry Bird, and they even put a little hat on tomato Larry Bird. I don't know what the hat has to do with the real Larry Bird, but it just looked ridiculous. So now you got it side by side, Larry Bird and tomato Larry Bird. Tomato Larry Bird is obviously bright red, drooping mouth, nose. It looks like freaking Larry Bird. How the hell can a tomato resemble a human being? But this is. And, oh, my God. So the NBA is playing their games in the bubble. And there's a dude, he's an NBA commentator, used to be a coach, and he's just he reminds me of kind of like a hilarious, exasperated guy who says whatever is on his mind. I really like him. His name is Jeff Van Gundy. Is that right, Jeff Van Gundy? Yeah, because there's two of them. There was the guy who was the coach of the Pistons, which is his brother. That was Stan Van Gundy. So, yes, this is Jeff Van Gundy of the and he's part of the announcing team. He used to coach the Knicks. There's actually been some hilarious moments with this guy, Jeff Van Gundy. Way back in the 90s, there was a fight between the Knicks and whomever he was whoever he was playing against. And he ran out on the court. It might have been the Heat. And to break up the fight, he ended up, I think it was Alonzo Mourning. He grabbed onto Mourning's body and fell down, and he ends up hanging onto one leg, and he's such a little fella, and Mourning's such a big, powerful dude. Mourning's like still like moving his legs and punching, and Van Gundy is swinging on his leg like that. It was like a hilarious thing. I'll even link that up in this story too. And then there was a story about Jeff Van Gundy when he, with the Knicks, I think when he was coaching them, they jumped out a private plane to take off, and he had this old beat up Toyota that he drove for some reason, and Van Gundy parked it on the tarmac, and the plane was moving, and the wash coming out of the jet turbine, well, the car was in the path of the pressure wash coming out of the back of the turbine, and it totaled the car. The amount of air being moved hit the car, and it flipped it and rolled it like a toy. And so his car got all fucked up, and here's Van Gundy going, oh, jeez. And he always looks like the type of guy who sounds like that. Oh, man. He's the type of guy you would picture. He looks like a guy who just lost all of his money on the stock market, and he spent the evening drinking at a bar, and his tie's always fucked up, and shirt's wrinkled, and his hair is like always jacked, and he looks like shit half the time, and he's hilarious. So that's this dude, but he's also a really, really smart basketball mind. He's the color commentator in this game the other night, and he has no idea that Tomato Larry Bird even exists, okay? And the clip starts with Tomato Larry Bird, and all you see is that. And Van Gundy is, you don't see Van Gundy, you can only hear him. And he's looking at, and he sees Tomato Larry Bird, and you hear him say, what is that? He doesn't know what that is. And then whoever is pushing the buttons in the truck hits the button to bring up the side-by-side with Larry Bird. It says Tomato Larry Bird, and then you don't know what that is, and then it says Larry Bird next to it. So it's clear there's a side-by-side comparison going on. Van Gundy gets the joke, and he thinks it's not funny at all, but it is. And his reaction is funny, too. Let me just play you how it went, okay? I've given you all the background you need. Let's just play the on-screen reveal of Tomato Larry Bird to Jeff Van Gundy. The other voice you hear is the play-by-play guy. Doesn't matter.
His second, team's first in the final 2 minutes.
What is that?
Brad Wanamaker at the line.
Oh, that's disrespectful. That guy was... What a competitor, what a skill. The amount of, the shot making, the rebounding.
Okay, what's happened is he has voiced he doesn't like it. He says, oh, that's disrespectful. And then whoever's pushing the buttons in the truck gets it off the screen. Somebody's saying, get it off. He doesn't like it. And then Van Gundy then just starts praising Larry Bird, trying to minimize the damage. So he goes the other way, over the top, trying to talk about how great he is after he's just voiced how disgusted he is what a thin skin that is. Come on. Who cares if it's disrespectful? Let me tell you something right now. Larry Bird was the biggest fucking trash talker in the history of the game. He'd bury you And then when you're licking your wounds, he come up behind you and rub your nose and shit with an assault, a verbal assault. Larry Bird would drain a 3 in your face, and then when you're going, oh shit, he's like, yeah, you suck. Your mother's a whore. Whatever. Tu madre es una puta. He was that bad. I mean, Larry Bird was as good at trash talking as so. Fuck Larry Bird. And there's a tomato that looks just like him. So shut up, Van Gundy. Jump on board, you stupid pencil neck.
His second, team's first in the final 2 minutes.
That's disrespectful.
What is that?
Brad Wanamaker at the line.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
Yep. Yes,
That
it
guy
is.
was.
So what? It's funny.
What a competitor.
I don't
What
give
a
a shit.
skill. You know,
This is what the other guy needs to be saying. Bullshit. I know he was, but who gives a shit? He's not playing right now, and there's a tomato that looks just like him. So fucking get on board, you nerd.
the amount of, like, the shot making, the rebounding,
What is
and
that?
the passing. Like, he had all of those traits.
Yeah, we know.
And a confidence level unsurpassed.
So fundamentally sound, but played with such flair.
Yeah, play-by-play guy is like he's jumping. They're trying to diffuse this. It's like, do you realize you've got a great opportunity here for some awesome hijinks, and here you are, you're squashing the Larry Bird tomato. Oh, come on, you two.
As well. You watch some of those highlight films of him. It's unbelievable.
The follow on with the left hand, like 10-foot scoop when he missed
Fuck it, I don't give a
that's
shit.
like one of the great highlights.
Yeah, but what have you done for me lately? All I know is there's a tomato and it looks like Larry Bird. So this is all stupid. You guys fucked it up. Okay, I don't give a shit if he's your best friend. If he's that much of if you're worried about him getting pissed off, well, he's a stupid pussy. You got a tomato looks like Larry Bird. You got to exploit that. Holy shit! I'd have said, "Give me the tomato," and I would have bit it. I mean, come on. Great opportunity for hijinks. Okay. Next up. This one comes to us from baseball. I don't know who these idiots are. It doesn't matter. You get a couple dudes announcing the baseball game the other night. I think it was a Reds game. I don't even care. But you got two dudes, play-by-play guy, color commentator, and the game gets delayed because somebody is controlling a drone right over like the field of play. And this has alarmed the umpires, and they're like, yeah, I mean, maybe something strange can happen here. We're not comfortable with this. We're going to call the players off of the field until we can get to the bottom of this and get the drone out of here. What is going on? So ultimately, it ended up going away, I guess, or they found out who was doing it and made them stop. But there was a delay, and in the delay, the announcers have to fill some time. So the one play-by-play guy is the typical play-by-play guy. Hey, let's try. We got a delay in the action. And you got the color commentator is a former player. I don't even know the guy. It doesn't matter. I'm too lazy to look it up. It's Friday. I've got weekenditis. But the color commentator wants to talk about the strangest thing he ever experienced when his game was delayed, when he played whatever level baseball. And the play-by-play guy is like, well, that's right. Let's have the story. We got to kill some time. And the color commentator then says something that the play-by-play guy is like, oh, no, this is a terrible story. So he tries to get the dude who's telling the terrible story, and you'll hear what it is in a second, to stop. He does, but then comes back to it. So this is how that sounded in this scenario.
There's a first time for everything.
Well, if you want to get into it, you want to hear one of the weirder ones that I've had of a delayed game?
Yeah.
This is a good time for it, Michael.
Yes,
Yeah,
a
Michael.
hostage situation.
Well, that's not a good story.
No. How about a wind out?
Well, that's not a good story. That's not a good story. He says it's a hostage situation. He's like all excited here. Yeah, that's right, Michael. Why don't you go ahead and give us that story there? It's a hostage situation. Well, that's not a good story. And then Michael here realizes that stuffed shirt play-by-play guy doesn't like it, so he shifts. He goes to another story. All right, he's going to blow past it. All right, great.
Game?
This is a good time for it, Michael.
Yes,
That's
a
right.
hostage situation.
Well, that's not a good story.
No.
Oh, no, I got another story. A baby. Someone threw a dead baby on the field.
How about a wind out?
A wind out.
We had
There was too much wind?
There was
Is that
too
what
much
you're saying?
wind. We were playing
That's great. That's great. I figured that out. A wind out. Too much wind.
in California. I was in high A. There was 65-mile-an-hour wind. It wasn't necessarily just because of the wind. It was because of all the dust.
Is this like an Adelanto or something like that?
Michael, I'm glad you took my cue to not go down the road of the hostage story. Which, by the way, is it not ridiculous that my parody of baseball guy sounds like this actual guy? This guy actually is good like this. This guy couldn't sound more like my stereotypical baseball announcer, play-by-play voice. Well, that's not a good story, Michael. Why don't you go on to the wind out story? So Michael, color commentator dude, he takes the cue and he says, "That's right. I will tell you about the wind out." And then so that's kind of a veteran move on his part, as long as he doesn't go back to the hostage story, you know?
There was 65-mile-an-hour wind. It wasn't necessarily just because of the wind. It was because of all the dust.
Is this like an Adelanto or something like that?
It was in Lancaster.
Lancaster, yeah, out there.
It's like playing on the moon.
Yeah, the high desert of California.
Yep, the hostage situation was in Modesto, California.
Nuts.
They had snipers actually in the light tower.
Michael, you were doing great until you went back to the hostage station story. Why don't you shut the fuck up?
At Visalia when we went to play. It was wild.
Yeah, that's right. You know I'm not engaging you because I don't want to hear any more about the hostage situation, because the next thing you're going to say is that a bunch of black guys were killed, so we're going to have to save that death story. I wish I'd never brought it up.
They had snipers actually in the light tower.
Michael, why don't you shut the fuck up? No more stories.
At Visalia when we went to play. It was wild.
I can't imagine such a thing.
Yeah, but I'm hoping you don't elaborate after I just said that.
Yeah, so you never know. You never know what could
You never know. I'm about to throw you out of the delay in the action as I throw you out of the booth for the hostage story.
Wind, lightning, definitely been in a lightning delay.
This awkwardness.
This is the most 2020 thing ever.
Oh,
sure is.
Sure is. Sure is. Michael sounds like this is his first baseball game. Play-by-play guy sounds like it's his 1 millionth. And I don't know what play-by-play guy was so freaked out about when Michael said it was a hostage situation. I mean, if I am at the ballpark and I'm in a delay, that's not like it's a horrible story. You know, I mean, it isn't like it isn't like Michael said, "Hey, yeah, you know what my craziest delay was? What was it, Michael? Some of those asshole Black Lives Matter people were protesting on the field. Oh no, that's a terrible story. It isn't like he dropped that type of awkward on it. He just said a hostage situation. And if I'm play-by-play guy, I'm like, well, fuck yes, Michael, take it away. I want to hear about this story. Go ahead. You're in charge, Michael. We'll come back with more baseball after this and some palindromes. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. All right. Okay. So we got Tomato Larry Bird. That's awesome. We got police hostage situation. Hilarity. That's great. Jim Harbaugh and Ryan Day. This is Bo Schembechler, Woody Hayes shit. All right, some of you are like, I don't give a shit. You're going to give a shit because it's great. It's a great story between these two, and it makes me interested. Because otherwise, I'm not interested at all. I'll get to that in a second. Got a lot more to talk about in this podcast. You know what? Patriot Nick always gives me tons of shit. He's like, dude, you always say send you an email, and then I send you emails and you don't read them. If you do have any comments on anything I'm talking about and you want it talked about during the podcast, there's about a 15% chance I will get to it, but send it along regardless. On the Green Clean Technologies inbox, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Rob, who sent that nice email about A&E heating and cooling, he's apparently enjoying it live because he writes this, or maybe he just caught up to the podcast. He says, hey, Zane, I hadn't been listening this last week. I just heard you talking about Diana's brother. Now that I know you're going through this, I feel a little dumb for teasing you in the A&E email. Rob, let me just tell you, I loved your email. And anytime I get feedback via email, my eyes light up and my heart sings. I love it when people reach out to me via email because email has turned into the lost art form, my friend. Back in the day when email hit, the written letter, the physical written letter was the lost art form. Now the email is the lost art form. People just go, I don't care. I'm not going to do it. To actually go to an email and write an email is great. Thank you. So sorry for the loss. Obviously, we don't know each other, but I've listened to you for years, Zane, going back to Free Beer and Hot Wings. You've always been the most genuine guy on the radio, which is why I think so many people like you and your show. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. Prayers for you, Diana, and your family. Rob in Kentwood, Michigan. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that, buddy. All right. Tech Tuesday is just around the corner. It's something I'm going to start with my friends at Blue Frost IT. And Alan is a nervous Nelly nerd. Okay, I love this guy so much. But he's like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, what do you mean? What are we going to talk about? Do you have conversations with your nerdites? Well, yeah. Well, just have it with me. And then I'm going to ask you stupid questions that are tech related. Because that's what everybody, if you've ever been in a conversation with anybody who knows everything about tech, they always talk above your brain. Beyond a few small megabytes, megabits, and terms like that, I don't know anything. That's why he does it. So, I'm like, well, just do what you normally do. Be yourself. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Tech Tuesdays with Blue Frost IT. That'll be a once every so often podcast. It all depends on how well we do, but I'm confident it's going to be great. With Blue Frost IT, they are a managed IT service provider. They are a sponsor of this show. If your small or medium-sized business needs any type of IT support, you got a guy. Just like A&E Heating and Cooling for that type of service. For your IT, for your business, you need to have a company ready to go because if things are going to go south one day, and you got to have somebody in the fold. Oh, yeah, Zane's got that group, Blue Frost IT. Hell, some of you aren't even going to remember it because it goes in one ear and out the other, and I realize that. But all you got to do is reach out to me, and I'll point you in the right direction. Blue Frost IT, online at bluefrostit.com. 616-200-8550. All right. Terrytown RV, my gosh, thank you. They've signed up for another 3 months. Okay? They're on division between 68th and 76th Street. Go to their website. This is how you do it. Go to terrytownrv.com. Find out something that you think would make your missus very happy and the kids happy. Time out. Imagine on a Friday like today, even if there is a pandemic, this could be pandemic or no pandemic. Rather than sitting at home, staring at the walls, what if you have a travel trailer in your driveway that's all prepped, ready to go? Hell, you're even parked in the street towards the road with your travel trailer hooked up to your vehicle. All you got to do is get into it and go. Thursday night, you pack the whole thing up. The kids cannot wait to get out of the neighborhood. They've been staring at the walls. Everybody hates each other. Your wife won't even touch your wiener because she's so stressed out about not being able to do anything. But you got a plan. Since you went to Terrytown RV, you're going to get tons of sex. Okay? You get the kids in there. You head off down the road to the state park, whatever it may be. What do you call it? Motorhome resort, whatever. It doesn't matter as long as you're out. Say you go to the state park. You back that thing in there. The kids are running around. Everybody's having fun. They're doing old school fun things because there's no cell service. They can't play any stupid video games or anything like that. They're getting into trouble. They're gone for 2 hours running around the campsites, having fun, making new friends. You and the missus are getting it on. Maybe you have a beer, smoke a joint after, sit by the fire, cook up some hamburgers. Oh, my God. What are you doing? Get in on this. You won't believe how little it is going to cost you each month to get into a terrific camper, travel trailer, fifth wheel motorhome. They got it all at Terrytown RV. Pick one out. You can shop online. They'll have one of the people call you right then. When it says, call me, you click it. They call you like 1 minute later. Or you pick one out. Say, I'm coming to see this one. They say, all right, I'll meet you at the front. They take you through your future RV. Awesome. TerrytownRV.com. All right. I haven't given a shit about anything really sports related in quite some time. Pretty much haven't paid attention. I'm mildly interested now that that some of the sports are coming back, and the stories that go along with them. I've watched a hockey game or two. I pay attention to the NBA when there's Larry Bird Tomato or Tomato Larry Bird. But football, outside of players opting out, and I think we're still under 100, but there's a bunch of players that are opting out. And I heard another podcaster giving football and basketball and players shit about opting out and like attacking them. It's like, what the fuck? What? Why would you do that? I don't understand why anybody would sit there and armchair quarterback somebody who says, yeah, I don't want to play sports right now because I'm afraid I'm going to get sick and bring it home to my family. I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with that. I totally get it. For me, that makes the season more interesting. When you have great players opting out, that changes the face of the team and makes them not as good. So who knows? Maybe my beloved Detroit Lions can win a Super Bowl, or at least, maybe my beloved Detroit Lions can win more than 5 games. I don't know, man. I was just looking at the preseason predictions, and somebody said, yeah, it's got to be another dismal season in Detroit. I wonder what they're predicting. I said 4-12. This bigwig sports writer said 5-11. Oh my God. Let me just say, if there ever comes a day that they do win a Super Bowl, it's going to be such a emotional experience because it has been so long. And this needs to be said because some of you might not be aware, but since I think the year is 1957, the Detroit Lions football team have only won one playoff game. One playoff game. Never mind go to the Super Bowl. Never mind win a Super Bowl. There are teams that are like, man, it's been so long since we won a Super Bowl. And they're like, pissed off about that. One playoff game since 1950 whatever. And I remember that game. It was against the Dallas Cowboys. But I digress. My point is, I haven't really been that interested in it. But I'm interested in this because it's kind of like a war of words, and that builds up storylines and drama. And when you got it between Michigan and Michigan State, that's a good thing. I'm sorry, not Michigan and Michigan State, dummy. Michigan and Ohio State. The head coach of Ohio State is Ryan Day, and it seems like at Ohio State they just bring in a new coach and they're still great. And for Michigan, it's been some struggles for many, many years, especially against Ohio State. They bring in Harbaugh. Harbaugh hasn't done shit, and they haven't even really come close to beating Ohio State. I think that Harbaugh is 0-5 against Ohio State. Coaches get fired if you're on the wrong end of this record. There's a guy who used to coach Ohio State who's a really good coach by the name of Earl Bruce, but he sucked shit against Michigan. And Michigan used to kick Earl Bruce's ass all the time. So he got fired over that, despite being a great coach and them having solid teams every year. Michigan they're not terrible, but, they're like, they're happy with, it seems like with a top 20 finish for the year. Ohio State's contending for the national championship every single year, so the rich keep getting richer. What to do? Well, you draw up some drama. This one is great. I love this. Here's the incident. It was a conference call among Big Ten coaches on Monday. Ohio State's Ryan Day is speaking. Jim Harbaugh interrupts him and accuses Ryan Day of breaking rules regarding on-field instruction. Quote, Harbaugh, this is a quote from the writer, Harbaugh asked Day about a photo that purportedly shows Buckeyes assistant Al Washington coaching or working with Ohio State's linebackers. NCAA rules don't permit on-field instruction until today. Whatever, rule. So, if I'm Ryan Day and Jim Harbaugh tells on me, I think that's a little weird. So, Michigan fan, that's what I want to ask you. Is that a big deal? Do you think it's a bitch move? Can you look past your Wolverine blinders and weigh in on this, or do you think, fuck it, who cares? It's Ohio State. Well, that's what I want to know. Is this a good thing, or is this a bad thing? And if you're an Ohio State fan, you want to kick Harbaugh's ass. Ryan Day responded to Harbaugh. Actually responded to that right then and there. Per bucknuts.com. The following. How about I worry about my team and you worry about yours? Fuck, man, I want to hear this. Following the meeting, somebody put a microphone nearby and was able to report this. Day reportedly told his team Monday that Michigan had better hope there is a mercy rule when the two teams play. As he said, the Buckeyes were going to hang 100 on them. Yes! Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is great. This type of shit, you don't really hear about it with that so-called rivalry. And it really honestly hasn't even, it's been a rout for the past several years. Michigan hasn't done shit, but this is the type of thing that gets me interested in this. Ryan Day says, they better hope there's a mercy rule. That is great. They play October 24th in Columbus. OSU has won 8 straight against Michigan in 15 of the last 16. Boy, that is brutal. Harbaugh is 0-5 in the series as the head coach, and the Wolverines have given up 118 points combined in the last 2 games between these two. So they've been getting murdered. If I'm Jim Harbaugh, I don't say shit. Why do you even waste your time? Because then, if you get bitched again, then more people can point at you for being part of the problem. So I don't know if this guy, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm like, I better frickin' win, because I think he's on thin ice. If you're a Michigan fan, what do you think? I know there's a ton of Michigan fans that actually listen to this show. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. Former Ohio State running back, now with the Dallas Cowboys, one of the best backs in the game, Ezekiel Elliott. He weighed in with a tweet. After Jim Harbaugh accused Ohio State of breaking rules on a Big Ten coaches conference call, Ryan Day, he actually tweeted out the story, Ezekiel Elliott, and then added, retweet with comment, snitches get stitches. Awesome. There you go. That's the type of thing that I like. If you have any thoughts on it, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. On the Green Clean Technologies inbox, I want to hear from you. Hey, they're still cleaning up in Beirut. Have you been following the story about that explosion? If you have not yet seen it, it's available at ericzaneshow.com. You can just search Beirut explosions, the biggest thing in the world. I still cannot get over the scope of that. The number of people that I can't believe that only 150 people are dead. I mean, the gigantic nature of that explosion. I saw one video of some lady who was getting some bridal photos taken, some like glamour shots, and she's some beautiful bride, and she's in like a courtyard nearby where this happened. And the guy's like shooting a video of her for her wedding. And you see her smiling, and all of a sudden her veil and her dress, she's got a long train on the dress, just like, it's just like, she's not hurt, but it was like the shockwave and wind it kind of like, whoa, what just happened? And you hear that gigantic explosion. So you have all of these tons of ammonium nitrate. I mean, I don't know how many, but it was a huge amount of ammonium nitrate. By comparison, Timothy McVeigh, when he blew up the federal building in Oklahoma City, he used 400 pounds of nitrate, of ammonium nitrate. This storage container that blew up had been there for 6 years, and it was an enormous amount, like thousands of times the amount of that. Hundreds of tons, maybe even thousands of tons of ammonium nitrate in a storage container. And now the people that live there in Beirut are pissed off, and they want a revolution. And they were pissed off leading up to it because the government there is a shit show, and they've been corrupt for years. And there's the elite class there who are just mangling the people. The entire country is devastated by coronavirus, and the rich keep getting richer there, like in a really bad way. And it's like they don't even like try to hide it. It's almost like some crazy dictatorship. But the people there are now, there's like an uprising going on because they think that political corruption, greed, and all that, it finally needs to be rooted out. And so this is like the big tipping point, this explosion. So you've got no one that is even part of the ruling class that goes through, like, it should be responding to this terrible, terrible tragedy, has even walked on the grounds where this giant crater is. No one's even done anything. Like a lot of times when there's like a devastating thing in the U.S., the president will walk through and survey the damage. None of that shit. There was one person from the government in Lebanon who did, and they like kicked her ass and like, get out of here. We don't want you around here. And like everybody's pissed off. So now there's talk about possibly being a revolution in Lebanon. The president of France walked through. Lebanon used to be a colony of France. And they obviously let that go. President Macron walked through, and he's like, we're going to help you, but we need to have accountability with the government. So the Lebanese government is like being forced into, I don't know, changing their ways or something because of this in order to get aid. It's really screwed up. What a mess. I still cannot believe the magnitude of that explosion. And the amount and the fact that there was only 100, I guess there wasn't a ton of people that were there, but and then all the people like it was a fireworks factory. No. Holy cow, the enormous nature of that. I wonder if there's ever been anything outside of a nuclear bomb being blown up in Japan or nuclear testing that has ever been that big of an explosion on the earth. You got to think that that's like as big as like a daisy cutter bomb. You ever heard of those gigantic, or the MOAB, mother of all bombs, which is like it like digs into the ground. It's a bunker buster, blows up mountains. Holy shit, was that incredible. All right, so there's that. That is also something else that's going on in the podcast today. Does the name Jerry Falwell ring a bell? Okay, I remember Jerry Falwell, the old timer. He was I think he was one of these guys. There was a whole slew of them back in the 80s, maybe 90s, who kept getting into trouble for, I don't know, bilking millions of dollars, having illicit sex, going to jail. Jerry Falwell. Well, his son is the leader of Liberty University. All right. Now, Liberty University is, this is where all the Republicans go, all the serious red staters go. It is obviously a religious university, and this is one of the universities that, like, at the height of the pandemic, they said, "Well, we're opening up school. There is no virus." It's just weirdo shit like that. Well, this guy is, he's the type of guy who says, well, we're just going to pray it away. There'll be no coronavirus here. We're just going to pray it all away. He's one of these guys. And it's like, oh, Jesus. Jerry Falwell Jr. is, again, one of these people that Jesus is up in heaven going, fuck, you're just getting this all wrong. How can you fuck up my message so badly? I mean, you are such a dumbass. You're doing it all wrong. He's in deep caca. And it's kind of weird, the trouble that he's in, but when you think about the university that he represents, Liberty University, it it definitely makes sense, because if you're going to be a guy like Jerry Falwell Jr., the extent of what you want to be seen publicly doing is, going on a mission trip, maybe a publicity shot where there's a bunch of people that aren't white and they're all poor, and you're helping them, dig a well. Maybe you're building a school in some faraway foreign land, doing the Lord's work, doing good things. If you're the president of Liberty University, you might be going to the inner city, maybe like Harlem, and you're giving away water to the homeless. Thanksgiving, you go to the soup kitchen. You get the shot of you like putting the turkey dinner on the plate for the guy who's down on his luck. These are all things you do. You don't be caught on a boat with your pants undone, holding a glass of wine next to some hot chick who looks like she's trying to look hot. Yeah, that's what happened. And now one of his right-leaning pals in politics is saying, yeah, we got to get him out of here because we can't have him wearing too tight of pants with his dick hanging out on a boat drinking a glass of wine. This is way screwed up. A top House Republican with ties to the university is saying Jerry Falwell Jr. has to go in wake of a viral photo that showed him vacationing on a yacht with his pants unzipped, holding a drink, and with his arm around a woman. Also, if you're in charge of a Christian university, I have a problem with anybody who is of the cloth who lives any way in excess. And that goes for pastor of any church around here or Liberty University. To me, if you are a preacher, you drive a very simple car, you don't dress flashy, you don't live in an expensive house, you live well below your means. And I don't care if that's a Catholic priest, the local evangelicals, or this guy. You got to be poor. You cannot have any amount of money because the church runs from money from people who go to the church. So if you do anything living in excess, to me, that's an insult. Does this not make sense? So when I hear that Jerry Falwell Jr. is on a yacht, well, then to me, he's a fucking asshole. He's stealing money. All right, I'll post the picture. But yeah, really weird. His T-shirt is up. He's creepy as fuck in the photo. You can see his fat belly. Like when I show you my gut, you can see that. It's like he's standing like this. Like his guts up. And his pants, I'm not going to do the pants open, Andrea, so, sorry. And his pants are open, and you can see his dick, like his dick bulge through his underwear. And his fat gut is hanging over his underwear, but his dick bulge is sticking right out of his pants. He's holding a glass of wine in his left hand. He's holding like a 25-year-old chick close, and it's really weird. And he tweeted it out on Instagram, He posted the picture on Instagram. Jerry Falwell Jr., more vacation shots. Lots of good friends visited us on the yacht. I promise that's just black water in my glass. It was a prop only. Okay, so, if you're going to sit there and talk the talk and talk about Jesus and all this stuff and this, that, and the other thing, probably not a good idea, and act all holier than thou, probably not a good idea to be standing next to what I think the biggest problem is with your dick hanging out next to the chick that's not your wife. A top House Republican is calling on Jerry Falwell to step down. Quote, Jerry Falwell's Jr.'s ongoing behavior is appalling. Representative Mark Walker, the vice chair of the House Republican Conference, wrote in a tweet on Thursday that called for Falwell's resignation. The North Carolina congressman, a former pastor, said he serves on a music faculty. said he serves on a music faculty advisor board at Liberty University. So this dude kind of has something to do with the school. So he's saying he should step down. Falwell on Wednesday said in a radio interview that he had apologized to everyone for the photo, which he said was taken, but at the same time defended the incident as a vacation costume party that was just in good fun. Yeah, what did you go as? Creepy guy with dick hanging out? That was your costume party? That was your costume. Creepy guy with pinned dick sticking out of too tight moose knuckle pants. Falwell also described the woman in the photo as his wife's assistant and said he regretted embracing her by posting the photo. I'll tell you what, if I put my arm around the waist of any woman and that, holy shit, and the Queen of the Forest found out about that, oh my God, she would kick my ass so bad. I'm always the around the shoulder buddy look. Hey, here's my pal. Or I don't even put my arm around him. I cross my arms around next to the woman. Hey, here's a new friend. Jesus. Unless if it's sexy voice Andrea, then Diana's like, oh, grind on him and make him embarrass the shit out of him. Or it's even Sarah. Diana's like, oh, yeah, there you go. Rub up on him. Leave a stain. Make him uncomfortable. I just picture that scene in Superbad. Some of you get that reference. Falwell, excuse me. Hold on a second. Let me back up. I'm going to try to be a good boy from here on out. That just sounds stupid. It sounds like you sound like an idiot. Falwell, who was among the most vocal evangelical supporters of President Donald Trump, will act like it. If you're going to be an evangelical dude, you can't be walking around with your dick hanging out, drinking with women that are not Mrs. Falwell on a yacht. And get off the fucking yacht. Go get a rowboat. You shouldn't be on a yacht in the first place. People who preach the word should never have money. That's just my opinion. Make it yours. He is a big supporter of Trump. He's been president of Liberty University, founded by his scumbag dad, the late Reverend Jerry Falwell, since 2007. And that is that. All right. More coming up, including the anti-mask rage on a waitress. But first, Green Clean Technologies, they bring you the email. Reach out to me, Eric, at ericzaneshow.com. On the Green Clean Technologies inbox. What the hell do? They clean data centers, hospitals, banks, schools, universities, you name it. If you have a business with all sorts of servers and you're just like, well, the lights are blinking, I guess it's good. That's not a good thing, and you could be walking on a tightrope. And if you fall, data is fried. That's a problem. You don't want that to happen. That's what Green Clean Technologies does. Call Zaniac Will, 616-560-7272. And if you want to impress the boss, suggest that. Hey, boss, all this data here. What do we do to maintain this? What do you mean? Well, Zane was saying that we got to keep this room clean. Who? Never mind. Forget that I mentioned him. I know for a fact that there's all sorts of stuff in the air here. If we don't sanitize this room and make it very, very clean, there's a chance that the particles in the air could fry our data. You don't want that, do you? No. Well, hey, Zane's got this guy. It's super affordable. Who's Zane? Never mind. 616-560-7272. That's Green Clean Technologies. Online at greencleantechnologies.com. Reach out to Zaniac Will and get a quote. I've got a business that wants your cannabis to bloom the best way possible. This is the time of the year you're getting less sunlight. Your plants are getting ready to bloom. Oh, my gosh, you're so excited. All that hard work you've put into it. Make sure you have the right nutrients in your plants. Call upon Horizon Hydroponics, Horzen, hydroponics.com. Shop online at checkout. Use Zane Show. You'll save 10%. Okay? Zane Show at checkout. Save 10%. Orders $250 or more, and you can get to that pretty damn quick. Stuff ain't cheap. Then shipping is free. Or you can pick it up in person. Just please mention my name when you go there. Say, I heard about you guys on Eric Zane Show, on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Thank you. Okay. They've got a location on Alpine and Grand Rapids. Byron Center is the growers outlet. And then in Kalamazoo and Lansing. Go to any one of the Horizon hydroponics locations. Tap their brains for their excellence and knowledge of all things growing, and they will be able to help you. And BK Guns and Stuff. Don't forget about Benjamin Newton, man. This dude is just awesome. Hang on a second here. Whenever I get texts, I'm like, I got to make sure there isn't something terrible going on. Every time I'm like gun shy now. When I see that I have incoming messages, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Please, no bad news. Zaniac Benjamin and his lovely wife, Kyle, are two great gunsmiths. You need work done? Call upon them. 616-902-2447 for BK Guns and Stuff. Love them at BK Guns and Stuff. And they service people who have weaponry anywhere in the country. You can just send that along to them. But get to their website also by clicking on their logo at ericzaneshow.com. I got to take this hoodie off. It's too warm in here. Started out cold in here. We're getting to that stage of the year. I'm such a slob. I don't even get dressed up for the show. Just throw on a T-shirt. Good to go. What the hell? You're like, Zane, what's up with the wrist? Yeah, it still hurts like hell. What I thought was carpal tunnel is actually probably just my hands resting on this for 10 hours a day. This helps. The left one's worse than the right. There was actually a war to help me, I found out. Kenny and Melinda were racing, but Kenny didn't know it, to send along a wrist support for when I type. That's another example of how sweet you guys are. And Melinda wanted to send it, and then Kenny had already done it, but he didn't know that Melinda had wanted to send it, or else he would have let Melinda send it. And so Melinda's like, oh, I wanted to send it to him, you jackass. And he's like, oh, no, I'm sorry. So, I mean, I know that we are loved when people are fighting to send me various things to keep me, like, healthy, even if it is something like that. I mean, seriously, what podcast has people sending them ergonomic equipment to work with? Incredible. I need to complain more. Hey, actually, Amanda, I'm liking what you're doing now. Maybe if I complain more, I'll be able to get more stuff, or everybody will make fun of me. All right. Okay, this story. How often have we seen stories about people walking into whatever place and they see that there is a mandatory mask rule, or the workers are wearing masks? I mean, nobody wants to wear a mask. Okay? I think we can all agree with that. But this is such a misguided approach to the whole mask thing. And it's really making me shake my head. Ever since pandemic to partying at beaches and no masks and behaviors and people enraged, we have had a steady supply of horrible behavior. And it's my job, not so much I've gotten past indicting people that don't think the way I think. I don't really care about that anymore. Because to me, that's just wasted breath, and it gets fatiguing to listen to the same shit of me saying, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, whatever. I'm past it. But this is just ridiculous, and I think everybody will agree with this. This guy goes into a restaurant in Lincoln, Nebraska, brings his kids, and sits down, and the waitress has a mask on, and she's servicing the customer, like, hey, what can you get? Oh, I'll take a water, I'll take a beer. This so and so wants this. All right, great. And then she does everything by the book. Well, this blows up in her face in a really, really bad way. And this is going to be one of those things that, there's going to be like a GoFundMe for, and this server's going to end up getting like $50 million out of the deal, which is another crazy thing that keeps happening. All right. Restaurant server in Lincoln, Nebraska. Customer comes in. Customer eventually made it clear that the customer was not happy of the city's mask mandate and took it out on the server. Allie Cyberheis is her name. She tweeted out a picture that showed the proof that things have gone poorly. I'm deliberately avoiding the ending, so don't spoil it on the comments. She said in her tweet, "Look, folks, masks are a city mandate. There is nothing that I, or the management can do about it." She told the news outlet that she wasn't surprised of what happened, and I'm deliberately saving that from you. So she goes in, she provides the service to the guy, she brings him his food, makes sure everything is good. He leaves, he's pleasant. She gets the receipt after you write in the tip, and he wrote tip 5 cents, 0.05. No mask equals get rid of masks, tip will be bigger. This asshole wrote on the thing. Get rid of masks, tips will be bigger, the note said. Now, even if you're an anti-masker, and some of you are, and I'm not here to give you any shit, you guys would never, ever think that this is appropriate, right? You can't blame the person who's wearing the mask. She might even be agreeing with you on this. You're actually going after the 100% wrong person in this gripe. If you were to do anything, you should be griping to whoever made the rule, okay? To be going after the person who is serving you your food is ridiculous. If only she had a picture of the guy so that she could post that, so that the next time he goes to a restaurant, people could start spitting into his food. And hell, I think he deserves worse than that. You got to spit, jizz, and blow snot on his food and mix it all up and serve it to him. Holy shit. In her tweet, she included a screenshot of the post that she made on Facebook where she called the incident wrong on so many levels. She said, servers make less than $3 an hour typically, so our entire day depends on the tips. I was very nice to this guy and his young son. They got their drinks and food on time, and when I asked them how everything was tasting, he said, all good. He had no complaints. She told the TV station that she wasn't necessarily surprised that the customer didn't tip her well, but was still upset when she saw how little the amount was. I was very angry that he left a 5-cent tip over something I couldn't control and was also wondering how it affected him that I was wearing the mask. I can't believe the guy would do this. I mean, most people, even the ones that I know of on this show who don't like wearing masks, they don't take it out on the businesses. What the hell is wrong with you? What type of short-sighted bullshit is that? She also added that the service industry is already difficult to work in. The coronavirus has made it even harder. We already are down on numbers of customers, so we just ask people to be respectful and tip accordingly because we're risking getting sick to serve you. No, you're right, lady. She said we aren't asking people to be over-generous, just respectful. My God. Another great example of how the worst of behavior is coming out because of this. I would think that I would expect you to be on your best behavior. You know? It's one thing if you don't want to follow the rules, that's fine. You know, you might even get into some hot water if you're asked to leave. Hey, we can't have you in here without a mask. At that point, you just got to leave. If you're fortunate enough, you'll have a business owner who just won't give a shit. Sometimes people have gone into places and they're like, and the business owner might be like, sorry, you can or you can't. So I guess it just depends on whether you want to roll that dice, but you can't take it out on the business owner. You're killing the messenger. They don't want to wear the damn mask either. So I guess just settle the fuck down. My God, what a terrible thing. Okay, the Houston greaseball robbing people of money. This is yet another example. I thought it was the same story that I had already seen before. There was a guy in Florida who got PPP money for his business by committing fraud, making shit up that for employees that he didn't have. And the government, in ease of trying to fast track money to people, wasn't really vetting anything. They were going back and finding it out after the fact. Now people are getting caught left and right. When you file for a PPP loan, which I did, I looked into it. I filed the application. They asked me how many employees I had. I said none. It's just me. And then they ask you some basic questions about income and things like that. And I did. I filled it out just to see what was going on. That was at the start of the pandemic. Well, I got lucky because I haven't had any drop off in business. And thank you, by the way, for that. And that comes because you patronize the sponsors. The sponsors are still doing okay as best they can. And so they still come to me. So great. So right away, I after I filed it, it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks. And I was like, I think we're going to be okay with this. And but they still reached out to me and said, you have money waiting. All you got to do is hit accept and you get it. And they offered me, I think it was like a $23,000 loan. And I didn't really get into it any more than that because I just saw the email. I went to the website and I looked at it and I go, well, I don't want this. And this is, I don't want to deal with the red tape of it. I don't want to, I don't know, just call it a personal preference. I didn't want I wanted to do it on my own. If I could, I wanted to do it on my own. I didn't want anything to go along with it. Call it being proud, I guess. But I just declined it. And they keep reaching out to you. Do you want this? Do you want this? You can take the money. Click OK. Click OK. I'm like, fuck it. I don't want it. And then, but if you do take it, they then start to follow up to make sure that you spent it on what you're supposed to spend it on. Okay. And for a lot of these businesses, and first of all, I was shocked that they offered me that much money. And then what you do is if let's say I had 20 employees, I then have to prove that I paid all those employees. And if you can't back that up after the fact, well, now you're in trouble. So you get all these dumb shits that are fabricating their list of employees and needs, and they're getting a ton of money. And then they go and they spend it on hot chicks, cars, and gambling. And this Houston story is just like the idiot in Florida. And now this guy's busted. Thank God. Headline, entrepreneur accused of spending COVID-19 relief funds on Lamborghini and strip clubs. Honestly, I thought it was the same damn story. It's like these stupid men get the money and they go right to the strip club and just blow it all on chicks. This idiot did just that, facing federal charges. That's so cool that they go back and catch him. I love this. After allegedly spending COVID-19 relief funds on improper expenses, including on real estate, a Lamborghini Urus, as it's known, and at strip clubs. Lee Price III has been indicted. 29-year-old asshole taken into custody, charged with making false statements to a financial institution. Big no-no. Wire fraud they got him for. Bank fraud. Engaging in unlawful monetary transactions. So the government offers it. You get it on the honor system, but they're going to come back and check on you. So let that be a lesson. He's accused of fraudulently obtaining more than $1.6 million in Paycheck Protection Program loans. These stories have been incredible. You've had, like the LA Lakers getting $25 million and then the whistle getting blown on them. And then they're like, oh, sorry, we didn't know. Yeah, you don't give me that shit. If nobody had busted you'd have spent it. To these little mom and poppers, these ham and eggers who's cheating the system. Bastards. The loans provided by the SBA. By the way, the application takes like 5 minutes. It was a piece of cake. It was if I did have a bunch of employees, I absolutely would have tapped into that. It was great. It was set up quickly and efficiently, but they were going on the honor system. They were going on truthfulness and people doing the right thing, and they don't. They're fucking thieves, is what they are. Too many people are thieves. Meant to support business owners struggling during the pandemic, businesses must use the loan proceeds for payroll costs, interest on mortgages, rent, and utilities. You're basically trying to push through to the other side. A criminal complaint alleges Price was involved in a scheme to submit fraudulent PPP loan applications to federally insured banks and other lenders, two of which received funding. Price Enterprises Holdings, that's his thing, allegedly received more than $900,000, while a loan application listing 713 Construction was approved for over $700,000. The loan applications allegedly asserted both entities each had numerous employees and significant payroll expenses. However, neither entity has employees nor pays wages consistent with the amounts claimed in the loan application. Further, the individual listed as CEO on the 713 Construction loan application has been dead since April. That was a month before the application was submitted. Scumbag allegedly used the loan proceeds not for payroll expenses, but for lavish personal purchases, such as spending the loan money on a Lambo. He bought a Rolex watch, started buying real estate, spent thousands at strip clubs and other Houston nightclubs. The complaint further alleges Price used a portion of the loan money to buy a 2020 Ford F-350 pickup truck. Holy shit. Well, I hope it was fun while it lasted, because now you're going to be locked up for significant time. This is great. I love hearing about these idiots thinking they can get away with this shit. I mean, if you were gonna steal that money, okay, and you knew what you were doing and that was your plan, why would you go and just blow it all? I mean, if you're gonna be a criminal, you got to be smart. Like that scene in Goodfellas, when Jimmy the Gent said to his crew, "Don't buy," after the Lufthansa heist, he said, "Don't buy anything extravagant. Keep it low key. Don't buy anything." And all the dumb shit comes in. His chick's got a mink coat, and the other dumbass buys a Cadillac for his mother. He goes, "Take it back." He rips the coat off the chick. He goes, "Fucking take this thing back. I told you not to buy anything, you dumb shit." You don't go buy anything. You just lay low. You just keep the money. You don't go start spending it like an idiot. And then if someone says, "Wait a minute, what happened?" You go, "Oh, I don't know. It was a mistake. I got hacked. Here's your money back." That's what you do. My God, nobody knows how to defraud the government. I would never do that. But seriously, you shouldn't go and blow it all. Hey, the Kent County Health Department wants you to cough into your elbow. They want you to wear a mask. They want you to stay socially distant. Did you see the guy, Moustakas, I think it was, for the guy for the Braves? No, that isn't who it was. Guy for the Braves at a grand slam. Comes around the bases, he touches home, and all the other players are staying away, and they're all just like dancing, celebrating the grand slam, socially distant. Baseball's like, we got to get it right. Every team's getting canceled. Well, the whole season's going to go. We want to keep playing. Kent County Health Department, they want you to do the same. And if you need anything for kids' vaccinations, WIC program, any help with sexually transmitted infections, they've got you covered. 4 COVID testing stations throughout Kent County. If you need any information about public health, you can get to their website. That is accesskent.org/health. Or you can call them 616-632-7100. Thank you to the Kent County Health Department. You need a mortgage? At one point you may. Maybe you're like, I'm not ready for that, and I've been paying rent for so long. And hey, look, if you've been paying rent, that means you have an excellent track record of paying on time. And if your mortgage payment is, less than your rent payment, well, people will take notice of that. That's called building your credit. Mario can help you with all of that. So whether it's a first-time mortgage or a 10th-time mortgage, call upon the pros at the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. NMLS number 3035. Call Mario at his desk, 231-332-6505. Make sure when you start looking for a home with Henry Steffes that you already have the mortgage in place. You definitely want that to happen. That way, if you see a great home and you're like, oh, man, I love this. Oh, no, I can't get that mortgage. You're kind of disappointed. You want to know going in, okay? Reach out to Mario, 231-332-6505. And as you know, this amazing studio that was built by the Zaniacs is known as the Metalworks. Metalworks Body Shop, Fear Bunker Studio. Ryan and Fran, the crew at Metalworks Body Shop, they're going to do a body shop work on the embellisher, my dad's truck, before too long. Call upon them for everything concerning a motorhome, fifth wheel, travel trailer, any type of RV that you damage. Get it fixed at Metalworks Body Shop. They're the guys. They're the one guys who do this. They're in Coopersville, Michigan. Metalworks Body Shop. Their logo's on my homepage in the top sponsor scroll. Click on it. It'll take you right to their Facebook page, all the contact info, before and after pictures. That's all there. And they have a website, metalworksbodyshop.com. Woo! You ever like, hey, Zane, boy, that's a lot of talking. Because I started at about 8 after 8 today, and it's 9:48 now, so we kind of like just go ripping through for like an hour and 40 minutes. How do you do it? Well, it's through you. Thank you very much. Reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If you have any emails or anything you want to say, weigh in on any of my thoughts, comments, or concerns. Take umbrage with me, if you will. Still getting every day, one day closer to the podcast with Ben. I'm really excited about this, and it's looking more and more. We haven't committed to it completely, but we have conversations all the time about it, and I can't believe it was 1 week ago that we did that free Patreon podcast. If you have not yet seen or heard that free Patreon podcast, you're definitely going to want to check that out. We had so much fun, and one of the things that I was most happy about was how it felt like we had only not seen each other for one day. Truth be told, the show ended. Things got off the rails between him and I, and then we got super pissed at each other, and I had nothing but bad feelings. And when he reached out and said, hey, man, sorry about that, it's like everything changed in one email, in one minute. And I was like, yeah, hey, let's not be mad at each other. This is fun. I like that. And so that was it, man. And so since then, it's just been nothing but win after win, with the exception of the nuttiness that happened with the passing of Dave. It's just been a great, great vibe. And I'm so, so thankful that he reached out. Well done to him. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited about the future with Ben, and I appreciate the support that you've given him, and you've given me too. So at the end of the day, the way I see this going is this podcast continuing the same way it has been each and every day, the same Patreon podcast each and every day. Everything we've already built stays the same. We're just going to add to it on Patreon. Ben is going to earn income. I'm working out I already said how much I want to pay him, so that's what I want to pay him, and it's great. I'm happy that he earns money, and he is so uncomfortable with earning cash, and it's like, dude, people like you. They're going to sign up on this because of you. You deserve this, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, you're like, where has Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia been, Zane? Well, let me tell you. It is, since all the nuttiness going on, honestly, it's just kind of slipped my mind. I did reach out to a couple folks this week, James, and he could not play. I reached out to Teresa, and I haven't heard back, so I'm going to draw another name from the shit bag today on the Patreon to play. But doing it from California might be a struggle, but I'm going to try. So I'm hoping to, as the dust settles on the California trip and the passing of Diana's brother, that we'll be able to get back to more of the normal things that we did. There's the only thing that's keeping me from doing it has just been the stress of all of the things that have happened. But it's cool. I again love doing that game. If you want to play Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia, we will be getting back at it shortly. Okay. The Patreon bonus podcast, I'll be getting to that in just a little while after I get a cup of coffee, maybe go to the restroom. Oh, that's way loud. Thanks again for being part of this one, though. I love you. Thank you. And podcasting next week from Los Angeles. That ought to be something. Thanks again, folks. We'll talk to you down the road. Bye-bye.